What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. There's this new show on Netflix that I am 1,000,000% obsessed with. I don't remember the last time I've been this excited about a television show. So the show is called Love is Blind, and again it's on Netflix, and it follows a premise that kind of marries two different shows together. The first one is Lifetime's Married at First Sight, where a bunch of strangers like do questionnaires, go through interviews and all that, and then like experts, quote unquote, match them with someone who they think that they should marry, and then they just meet at the altar, get married, go on a honeymoon, and live together, and we just see whether or not their relationships end up working out. And then the second concept that it kind of mixes is another Netflix show called The Circle. And so on The Circle, it's a bunch of people who are like doing like a group chat on social media, a bunch of challenges to try to make themselves as likable as possible to other people. Like maybe people could fall in love. Like there is a lot of potential over there. This show does a really good job of marrying those two concepts, pun intended. Now, I have a lot of videos to do on the show. I really do. I've got so many freaking thoughts, but I wanted to start off with, talking about some of the red flags I've seen about one of the cast members in particular. I know that Jessica is a huge hot button, like controversial character on this show that everyone has been talking about ad nauseum. But I feel like we're missing out on another character who has like a heap load of red flags that I really want to bring attention to. And her name is Amber, and she is set to marry Barnett on the show. So let's kind of go into all the red flags that I think Amber has that just made my jaw completely drop. I don't remember if it was episode 6 or episode 7. I had been tolerating her, finding her a little bit irritating until the second set of episodes dropped. And in one of the first two, I just saw like red flag popping up here and there every single time she spoke. So first of all, when she was introduced on the show, she's the only person whose occupation is listed as like an X occupation, which means she's currently unemployed. Like she's listed as like X something mechanic or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, well, if that's what she was doing like previously, what is she doing now? Let's give her a job title. I did feel bad for her when the other guy, Carlton, walked out on her in the middle of a conversation she was having about her super physical job. I actually didn't think she would get matched up with anyone because I thought a lot of guys would find her annoying to like try hard with the whole guy, one of the guys situations. But she did ultimately end up getting engaged to a guy named Barnett, who had been deciding between her, Elsie, and Jessica, who's still obsessed with Barnett. After the engagement, they went on a little bit of a couple's vacation, meeting face to face for the first time. And when they returned, it was time for them to move in together and meet the family. So as soon as they arrive at Barnett's house, Amber lets it all hang out about her financial situation, and my jaw legitimately hit the floor. And let me tell you why. So she gets up on his countertop with her broke ass and she goes, oh, so I just want to let you know I've got like over $20,000 in student loan debt that I haven't even began paying for a degree that I didn't even finish like working on. And she laughs it off, and I'm like, red freaking flag. Not only the fact that you have student loan debt, like I think a lot of people have student loan debt to like whatever, so long as you're paying it off, but the fact that she said that she never even tried paying it off and that she laughs at it as though it's someone else's problem is weird. And then she also doesn't currently have a job. So I'm just wondering like how much her credit score is tanking each and every single freaking day that is just sitting there racking up the interest. And she said that she doesn't live to work, and it's like, you don't work, period. So like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's got no home of her own, of course, because she refuses to work as a 26-year-old woman. So me and Amber are the exact same age, and I own some real estate. I have a job, like I make investments. So like the whole she's young excuse doesn't exactly sit right with me, because it's more than old enough to be a responsible adult, especially if you're like her, where you're thinking about getting married and stuff. Like if you're gonna go on a show because you want to get married, I would hope that you would have enough introspection to want to bring something to the table before you want to get married. Like who wants to go in as someone's like burden? Like, besides Amber, obviously. And on top of this $20,000 debt, she's got a $700 credit card that she's already maxed out and hasn't paid off. So I'm like, sis, you don't have $700, but you want to get married? Like, what? And the $700 isn't even from like, oh, like maybe she's got to get like gas or help around her mom's house with groceries because she's mooching off of her, but for makeup. And she doesn't even wear very much makeup from what I can tell. Like she's not a glam girl at all. She's very not like the other girls. So what the heck are you doing spending so much freaking money on makeup that you're maxing out a card and you've already got all this student loan debt that you're not paying off either? Like it's just glaring freaking red flags that I'm surprised that Barnett even like continued to like move forward with her. Like I don't understand what kind of reasonable person would want to saddle themselves up with someone who's clearly like unambitious, lazy, parasitic, and just, you know, bad news all around. She claimed to have a decent credit score, but I don't believe that at all. I think her credit score is probably like 55 or something like that, the way she's living her life. And one of the top red flags in all of the situation was that she had the nerve to sit her unemployed ass on Barnett's countertop and talk about how, oh, like maybe they would need to get a mortgage for a bigger place eventually. And I'm like, sis, you just got here, you know, with your one garbage bag, and you're already like, we know that you've got like a crazy amount of debt that you've got no intention of paying off. And now here you are trying to get him to take on more debt so you could have a bigger house that you're not going to contribute a single damn thing to. Like, it's so weird. And she was also the most comfortable out of all of the girls in moving in with someone else. Like Lauren had her own apartment. She was like, oh, like I kind of want to keep my own apartment just to see how things go and slowly transition here. But Amber, as soon as she, like her pinky toe or her big toe, sorry, that comes first, touched the front step of Barnett's like front stairs, she's like, you know what? I feel real comfortable here. I feel like this is our house. I already feel like it's my house too. I was like, yikes, mooch, freaking mooch. Like Jess is a mess, but this girl is like a hobosexual, like the definition. Look it up. Amber's picture is going to be right next to the word hobosexual, I promise you. When Barnett asked Amber about like her ideal family life, what she sees for them in the future, she's like, you know, again, I don't like to work. I'm hoping to be a stay-at-home mom. And then to us in the one-on-one confession, she literally says that she hopes Barnett can take care of her. And I'm like, okay, listen, being a stay-at-home mom is a job, you know what I mean? But like, when it comes to women like Amber, like I don't think that she's going to be someone who takes that seriously, because it comes out later in the episode, or the next episode, sorry, from Barnett, that she sits around at home all day just like eating and watching Netflix and just general television. So this is someone who refuses to pay down her debt, refuses to try to hold down a job, didn't even last that long, like in the one job that she had, like how many years ago, that she's still freaking bragging about. She maxes out credit cards on makeup, and now, you know, you're not reading in your free time, you're not taking up a hobby, like a hustle, like anything, like you just sit around on TV all day. I don't think she wants to be a stay-at-home mom in order to focus on raising successful kids. I think she just wants to sit around all day, you know, and just have those kids in daycare or in school, and her house will probably still be a mess or something like that, because she literally seems to desire to do nothing. Like I swear, if any of my brothers like got with a chick like this, I would be trying to throw a wrench in it from every single corner. And both my brothers are engineers as well. So I'm like, if you bring a chick like this, no, it's not freaking happening. This girl is a whole ass mess that I don't understand how she even passed the screening process. Like I think that her and Mark shouldn't have passed. Like Mark has a job and like he's very like emotionally stable and stuff, but he's like 25 freaking years old. Like, you know, like no, like I think that they should have older people who are more established so that these things have a better chance of surviving. And yeah, like she brings literally nothing to the freaking table. And again, like why do you want to have your whole entire economic future rely on a man? Like that is so freaking dangerous. I don't think she understands how dangerous that is, or maybe she does, and to her it's just the lesser of two evils. Do I risk the potential of, you know, being like emotionally abused, financially abused, like stuck in a dead-end relationship because I have no money of my own? Or do I work and have to get up and leave my house every day and like contribute a little bit to society beyond just watching television shows on Netflix? And so she kind of decides, you know, the former rather than the latter. And, you know, it just makes me worry for her. Like I really do worry for women like her who just put their all into not really doing anything but like I don't know, being a maid to a man or something like that. Like it really is sad and scary. Again, I think there are people who would be like legitimate, like good stay-at-home moms, would put like all their effort into it, probably leave their careers behind to focus on that and have like a nest egg or have investments that like, you know, like will help them in case anything hits the fan. But someone like Amber is just a leech, in my opinion. She's just a leech. I don't buy her I want to be a stay-at-home mom situation. I think she wants to have a trap baby and just mooch off of Barnett, have him pay off her debts, because there's no way in hell she's paying them off. And like, you know, once they're married, those are his debts as well. She also acts like over the top obsessed with Barnett. And I don't think that it's because she's like particularly overly in love with him or this or that. Like, of course she thinks she's in love with him right now after a couple of days, but I think that she's extra trying to make sure that her meal ticket stays in place and seals the deal. And I think she's probably gonna be the first one to try and get pregnant so that he can't leave her. And she probably knows, after like the way she's exposed herself on the show, that not many people are gonna go for that, like especially not in these economic times. It even showed in her mom as well. Like when Barnett and her went over to her house, like one of the first questions her mom asked was, do you have a job and can you take care of her? Which, you know, a normal parent would want to know, but you know, at least ask the guy, like, you know, how was the drive over here before you dive into that. Like, it's a little bit of a mess. It's a train wreck waiting to happen, and I know that she's gonna stress the hell out of that guy for years to come. And speaking of meeting the families, after meeting Amber's mom and her entire family, they go ahead and meet Barnett's family, and she just gets worse, you guys. Like, she's just so, and I feel really rude saying it, but like rough around the edges, kind of like low brow or whatever. So she goes to meet his family, and like he seems to come from like a pretty good background versus hers, which is a little bit rougher. And so they ask her, like, why did you fall in love with him? She's like, oh, he's crazy like me, and he also likes to like fart on me or something like that. And I'm like, girl, like who tells someone's family like something so kind of like crass and crude, especially when they first meet? Like, this kind of humor is just so like, I don't know, bottom of the barrel in my opinion. And I think that his family definitely was like, what gutter did you pick this girl up from? Because she was just so kind of like embarrassing. Like, she really could have tried to have a little bit of like an air of class, like, while, you know, at least the first meeting or something like that, but she was just not having it. And I just can't get into her. Like, I just cannot get into Amber. By the way, you guys, that first wedding dress, I'm gonna say something nice about her. I wanna say something nice. That first wedding dress that she tried on at the salon with the other ladies, to me, was the most beautiful wedding dress of any of them that any of the other girls tried on. I was like, I need to take a picture of that for my like vision board in case I do something like this one day. It was beautiful, and her figure was absolutely amazing in it as well. I really do wish that she chose that wedding dress at the end of the day, because it was stunning, it was unique, it was so clean and simple and crisp. It was gorgeous. But she ultimately wound up choosing another wedding dress, and then she told Barnett that it was over budget. You know, she's got nothing to do with the money, so she is just gonna keep. This is exactly how she ends up in debt, and it's exactly how Barnett may see himself end up in debt by taking someone so irresponsible on. Anyway, you guys, what do you think about Amber from Love is Blind? Does she scream red flag to you too? And would you like to see opinions about other cast members from the show? Make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.